I do want to be serious for a moment. I'm coming at this from the background of an ESL teacher. That's how I've made my living for quite a while now, and I love teaching. But I learned a very good lesson on a day when I was hungover, exactly like today, just over 20 years ago. I walked into a class of senior students who were not particularly bright. This was in Japan. They do have some of them there too. And they didn't really want to learn English, and they didn't want to learn it from me anyway. And I walked in and I was feeling really hungover. I didn't know how I was going to hold it together. I was just going to throw up right there. And it was a problem, and they were sort of looking at me, and I had the lesson. I knew what I had to teach them, and get your books, do this. And instead, a little voice just said, "No, man, just strap it." And I just looked out the window, see the water actually. I said, I don't want to be here. And I started speaking in what I called an authentic voice. I started speaking from the real me and what I was feeling. And it was the most incredible breakthrough with that class, because it wasn't about English, it wasn't about the lesson, the grammar, the language. It was about, gee, they're communicating with another person in a different language, and they're seeing part of that person who they didn't know before. They're seeing him as a human, not just his gaijin teacher coming in. And I've never forgotten it, and it's something that stayed with me. To me, that's what authenticity is, being your real self, being your real person. And it was a breakthrough, and I think it changed from that point on. I mean, it didn't mean I went out and got drunk every night. But I realized the lesson from there is be true, be honest, tell them how you're feeling it, and be yourself and put yourself out there if you can. And for me, the podcasting has just been this most amazing tool that allows that kind of experimentation, allows that kind of fun, allows that kind of play, and allows you to reach people in a different way.
One quick question, do any of you think you can be too authentic? Because we do control the content we put out, right? We try to control to a certain extent the image people have of us by what we say or don't say, even though it's authentic. But by omission, we can do things. Do you guys think that there's can you be too authentic?
Can you share too much?
Well, I think I've already gone over that line. I have a 15-year-old and a 17-year-old, and I just realized today that, well, they know their dad does podcasting, he loves it, and they think that's cool. They don't want to listen, they hear enough of me already. But it just hit me today when I was trying to recover from this that, gee, what if now that I'm on Facebook and I've sort of dropped this Scarborough Dude persona and there's a real name out there, what if one of my teenage son's high school friends, hey, I heard your old man the other day talking about jacking off or something. What's all that about? Poor kids. You know, this is horrible. So I have crossed over that, and I can see the names. So I've taken off my first 100 shows, and I've tried to reinvent myself from podcast number 107 or kid friendly. Well, not
depending on what you like your kids.